Hello, friends. I'm your host, Dave Layton, and welcome to Signs of Our Time, discovering America's heritage, one sign at a time. This podcast is designed to provide the story behind the story found on America's roadside historical signs. I like finding unusual historical markers, and in this episode, I certainly bagged a strange one. This marker memorializes a town with a strange name. Now, I grew up in Arkansas, and there were towns that had some strange names, but this one beats all the names I've ever heard of. All across the United States, there are towns and communities that have unusual names. It's always interesting to learn how these names came about. Well, in today's episode, we're going to learn the story behind the story of a town in Arkansas called Toadsuck. Yes, you heard it right, Toadsuck. And if you're wondering where in the world that name came from, well, you are not alone. Toadsuck is located in central Arkansas along the Arkansas River, about 10 miles west of Conway, not too far from the Toadsuck Ferry Dam. Today, it's a quiet area, but in the 1800s, this spot was anything but sleepy. Back then, the Arkansas River was a major transportation route. Steamboats traveled up and down the river carrying goods and people throughout the region. And like any long journey, these boats needed to stop from time to time. Toadsuck became one of those stops. Well, where did the name come from? There are a few theories, but one of the most widely accepted stories goes like this. When steamboats docked there, the crews often went ashore to rest and, of course, to drink. Local taverns became popular stops, and according to legend, the boatmen would drink so heavily that observers said they would suck on the bottle until they swelled up like toads. And just like that, the name stuck. Toadsuck, Arkansas. Now, whether that story is completely accurate or not, it captures something important about early American life. These river towns were rough, lively, and full of character. Names often came from moments, habits, or even jokes that simply refused to fade. Today, Toadsuck isn't just a quirky name on a map. It has become a point of pride for the region. Each year near Conway, they host the Toadsuck Days Festival, a celebration filled with music, food, crafts, and of course, a healthy appreciation for the name itself. What could have been an embarrassment became an identity. What could have been forgotten became a story people traveled to experience. Here's what makes Toadsuck more than just a funny name. It reminds us that history can be messy, human, and often humorous. Places like Toadsuck tell us that real life leaves real marks. The story that endures are not always the grand or the noble. Often, they're the ones people remember. So the next time you see a strange name on a map, don't pass it by. That's probably a place with a wonderful story. And sometimes that story tells us more about people, culture, and history than any textbook ever could. Well, friends, there you have it, a story behind the story from American historical signs and markers. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I invite you to subscribe and continue listening as we bring more episodes about the rich heritage of our great nation. I'm your host, Dave Layton, and thank you for listening and safe travels.